Smackdown this week. It was absolutely 100% positively, unequivocally, beyond a shadow of a doubt, no blurred lines, horrendous. How horrendous, you ask? Let's just say the second this review is over, I'm taking Sexy Lexi. I'm taking the Lexus straight to the Jersey Shore. Sand beneath my feet, sun above the dome piece, rocking the ocean waves, amplified style. Oh, and I earned it for putting up with that shit show last night. Maybe you got two positives out of this show last night. Bailey cutting the promo on why she did what she did to Sasha. Yeah, it was good. I just wish I could hear it better. You see, this Thunderdome and the brilliant minds at WWE thought it was a good idea to raise the volume of the crowd noise. The only problem is it's not crowd noise. It sounds nothing like crowd noise. It's just noise. Ear-pinching, ear-raking, nauseating, atrocious, cringe-inducing noise. It sounds like you're in a hollow tunnel for 2 hours straight. And they raised the volume of the Thunderdome, and they lowered the volume of the microphones that the superstars are using to cut their promos. They lowered the volume of the microphones that the commentators are on, so you can't hear them. So your thought is to put the volume up so you could hear them, but all that does is raise the volume of the echoing of the Thunderdome. And it literally, I kid you not, this isn't just a word I'm using just to embellish a story. I literally was physically nauseous from the noise coming off my TV last night. I never lower the volume of anything. I am always watching and listening to things at the highest volume. Probably not the healthiest thing, but it's what I do. In life, I'm just fully amplified. It's not just the character I play on YouTube. I am constantly 24/7 whooping that ass and tearing shit up amplified style. But my only options here were to either lower the volume or change the channel completely because the noise was so nauseating to me, physically. Now, I didn't want to have to change the channel because I've made it through some bad, horrendous WWE programming in the last several years, but I still watched it throughout because I knew you guys were depending on a thorough, honest review from yours truly. So I watched every bad show from top to bottom, beginning to end, start to finish. But there was a moment where I honestly felt I had to change the channel because even lowering the volume, I was still hearing this nauseating echoing in the Thunderdome. But I made it through it. I lowered it like I was watching a golf game, like I was watching an old dude with a stick hitting a tiny ball into a tiny hole. It was like I was watching golf. Very low level. Didn't feel like I was watching a wrestling show. So right from the jump, production-wise, something that WWE has always prided themselves on, production-wise, I was taken out. There better be some superb shit happening last night for me to really be invested. Or for me to stick around for 2 fucking hours. The Bailey 2-minute promo was one of only 2 things that I can think of that were semi-entertaining. The other thing was actually entertaining, and that was the Fun House with Bray Wyatt. But that's to be expected. Bray Wyatt is a genius. Everything he touches turns to gold. You give me a 2-hour Fun House, and that'll be better than the 2 hours that we saw last night with everything else. 2 hours of the Firefly Fun House, and I'll be wildly entertained. Wildly entertained. Because what they gave us last night, that was the opposite of being entertained. When you walk away from something physically nauseous, you know something's not right. I can't be the only one that is picking up on the superstars not sounding loud. I couldn't hear Bailey. I couldn't hear Paul Heyman at the top of the show. I couldn't hear the commentators. I just heard this nauseating echoing that's supposed to be crowd noise, but it's anything but. I can't be the only one that's picking up on this, man. But I cannot go forward watching this show if that's what it's going to be. I will literally have to sub it in with something else. Maybe I'll start covering Impact Wrestling. But I cannot do that. Raw didn't even seem that bad, did it? And that's 3 hours. I picked up on it last week with Smackdown too. Maybe it's on the Fox side of things and Fox production. Maybe it's not all WWE. I don't know. I don't care. It needs to be fixed. It needs to be rectified. Or I'll have no choice but to start reviewing Impact Wrestling or something like that in its place. Because physically, I can't do that. That noise is that atrocious, guys. It's not even being over dramatic. It's that bad. And they once did a study years ago, and it was like over 80% unanimously agreed on this one thing. And they asked people, when watching a movie or a show or a video, what was more important to them, sound or the actual visual? Right? And they were willing to view a whole video, make it through the whole show, watch an entire movie with a shaky camera or shaky or distorted images. They were okay with that. Over 80% unanimously decided that it was sound that would take them right out of the movie, right out of the show, and make them end whatever they were watching early. It was sound. They could not put up with bad sound. And I always thought that was an interesting study that was done. And, you never really realize it until you watch a show like SmackDown. And again, I picked up on it last week. This week, it just seemed even worse. But when Bayley is cutting a promo on what she did to Sasha, man, you need to feel like it's amplified. You need to hear her screaming and just be in it. And they lowered her volume. Paul Heyman, 2 weeks in a row now. I can barely hear Paul Heyman. Commentary. I have to fucking really pay attention. As if this show doesn't take you out enough. Now you have to really hunker down and listen in. And when you try to do such, you're just picking up more of that nauseating noise. It may seem like I'm harping on this a lot. You guys have no idea. It's at a point where I might not be able to even review SmackDown anymore because I can't put up with that sound. What am I going to do? Watch it on mute? You know what? Maybe that's a good idea. With the promos that wrestlers are cutting today, with fucking Cole on commentary, maybe, just put some captions on, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I just gave myself a new idea. Anyway, guys, I gotta hit the Jersey Shore. I'm gonna try to keep this under a half an hour so we can all rock out. Let me get some swigs of coffee. I'm gonna down the rest of this, actually, and then we'll get into the review. The show starts with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, middle of the ring. Paul Heyman playing the role of Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns playing the role of Brock Lesnar. But I like it. This is exactly where Roman needs to be. But he needs to go full throttle heel. We're still waiting for that one moment. And it had to be last night. You had to get Jey Uso in the ring somehow. And Roman needs to turn on him right from the jump. Because you only have a couple weeks to get the Clash of Champions. You can't do the turn at Clash, right? Because the whole story needs to be Roman turned on his family. And you have a couple weeks to build upon that. And then at the Clash, you need to see the culminating moment. And what it does for Roman's character is even more illuminated. I mean, this is huge. You have to tell everybody right from the jump that he's not a tweener. You have to let everybody know he's a full throttle heel. Otherwise, he's the same Roman that we saw before he left. So Jey Uso comes down to the ring. Paul Heyman actually introduces him. I'm like, great, we're set up perfectly. Let's do this. You have to turn on your fam. Right there, he needs to turn right on Uso, man. And build that story. You got a couple weeks to build the Clash. Build it. And instead, Baron Corbin hits the ring. And the second, this is how non-creative WWE is. The second we all saw Corbin is the second we all knew what was going to happen next. Another heel was going to come down, and we were going to have a tag team match. And sure enough, Sheamus comes to the ring. And sure enough, they set up a tag match, Sheamus and Baron Corbin versus Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. The problem with that is the way this was set up, you basically have heels versus faces. Everybody is going to look at Corbin and Sheamus as the heels on the outside of the ring. And in the inside of the ring, you have Jey Uso shoulder to shoulder with Roman. So who do you think are the faces in this match? So you put a dude that was supposed to come back as a full throttle heel in a spot in a position where he's still just a tweener. This could not have been more horribly done wrong than what they gave us last night. That's not just a man's opinion. That is the one thing that could not happen. Roman shoulder to shoulder with Jey Uso. Now, before I blew a gasket completely, I said, okay, maybe something happens in the match later tonight, and that's where Roman will turn on Jey Uso. Okay, I'm cool with that. It should have been right at the jump of the show. But if they want it in the main event, cool, let's do it. So I wait. I wait throughout the night with the cringe-inducing noise of this Thunderdome, the fake crowd noise. I wait through all the BS filler that we got last night, the horrible decision-making, the tragic booking. I went through it all to see what happens with Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. And when we finally got to that, you ain't gonna believe what they actually gave us. We'll get to that in a couple minutes. First match of the night was an IC title match. Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles. Guys, the background noise, I'm harping on this because I want you to get into the mindset of the Amplified Man last night watching this show. I couldn't even get into it because this noise was just echoing. I couldn't even and luckily, I didn't need to concentrate. Thankfully, I didn't need to concentrate for too fucking long here because this match was 5 minutes tops. Sami Zayn interferes and it's over. I think maybe Hardy wins by DQ. I don't know, some schmaz finish. They hyped up this title match for a full week, and you get 5 minutes like that with Sami Zayn interfering. And you're going to try to tell me, well, BC, this sets it up perfectly, man. Sami Zayn's now inserted. For what, guys? We're going to have a triple threat for the title? I don't want that. I want a number one contender versus a champion, right? That is a title match, not multi-man schmaz matches for a championship. But Sami Zayn, and I love Sami Zayn, and he's so entertaining, and you know, part of me is glad that he's in a title picture, but I see where this is leading to. You know, this looks like it's leading to a triple threat down the line. I don't need to see a bunch of dudes fighting for one title. I need to see two dudes fighting for a title. If it's a tag title, two dudes versus two dudes. I don't need to see multi-man schmaz matches. This was pumped up for a week, and that's the best creatively that they had for it. Let's have them go out there for 4.5 minutes. We'll have Sami interfere, and everybody will forget about this. It was uneventful. It was nonsensical. So 40 minutes into the show so far, I've still got a tweener Roman, half face, half heel. I have a title match with Styles and Hardy that was a farce, and a bona fide headache from the fake, ridiculous, overproduced crowd noise. Yeah, I'm not happy at this point, 40 minutes into the show. Things need to pick up drastically. Instead, I get a cringe-inducing backstage segment with the Street Bums and Cesaro and Nakamura. I don't even know what they were talking about, guys. I don't even know why the Street Profits are on Smack, as if they weren't nauseating enough on Raw. Now we have to put up with them on SmackDown because they're doing this weird champions versus champions match this Monday night. So up next, we get Kalisto and Grand Metalik versus Cesaro and Nakamura. I kid you not, this match, I use that word very loosely, was 2 minutes. Your champions are in a 2-minute match, and one half of your champion, Cesaro, is being defeated by Grand Metalik via the awe-inspiring, ultra-devastating Farouk roll-up. Metalik rolls up Cesaro And one of the strongest guys in WWE, Cesaro, cannot get his shoulder an inch off the mat. He gets beat by a roll-up. And all because the street bums showed up on the Tron and they were having a party backstage. So Cesaro is looking up there like he's never seen anything like it before. He's looking up there like Sable is butt-ass. A party? Street Profits? Who's that? Drew Gulak? Matt Riddle? Cesaro is flabbergasted about a party on the Tron. So he forgets about what he's doing, and Metalik rolls him up. How stupid is this booking, guys? It's not even fucking 4th grade level. This is absolutely... It's mind-dumbing. That's my new word. Not mind-numbing. Mind-dumbing. A roll-up. Matt Riddle, by the way. Matt Riddle's way in the background of this party. You want to use Matt Riddle this week, Vince? Yeah, put him in the Street Profit party segment. It'll be awesome. He'll be eating grapes in the background. It's good shit. You go back and you watch it, guys. I'm not even joking. Matt Riddle was in the back. Drew Gulak, all right. It's Drew Gulak, whatever. Matt Riddle is... What is Matt doing, man? So Matt Riddle's eating grapes, partying with the Street Profits on the way background. You got Cesaro, one half of your champions, getting pinned by a roll-up. BC, I don't understand why you're not enjoying the shows. BC, why don't you enjoy the shows? They're fucking amazing, BC. You can't be too harsh. Sit back and relax, BC. You're being overly negative, BC. Too critical. What the hell is this person doing? What the fuck? We just did a 16-point turn just to turn around. I thought they were old at first. Now you look like a college kid. He's trying to turn around. He like went up and back, and he went up again, went back, almost hit a fucking stop sign, like Lawn Mowing Larry the other day. Then he went to back up, almost ran over the curb. Who the fuck gave him a license? Anyway, let's go on to hour number 2, man. The Jersey Shore is calling, man. The ocean waves are calling. Sun's coming out, man. I need to be on the shore. Bayley starts hour number 2 with a really good promo talking about Sasha needing her close by, but Bayley was using her all along, and when they lost the tag strap, Sasha was then rendered useless to her. So it would have been great if I could hear her better, that's all. I just could not hear her. The noise was just befuddling to me. That nobody is picking up on that. We need to hear the promos. That we need amplification in their voice. Dumb down the fake noise and pump up the volume in the microphones. Then it's time to find out who Bayley will face at Clash of Champions for her title. And you guys know how we do that, right? The same way we find out the number 1 contender for every title. By throwing everybody out there in a schmaz match. Triple threat, fatal 4, 5, 6, fatal 79 ways. This was Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Cross versus Lacey Evans versus Tamina. Yup, Tamina with a title opportunity in reach. How is that not realistic to you? Sure, she only wrestles 4 times a year, but fuck it. Why make sense? Throw Tamina and give her another shot at a title opportunity. Fuck it. Why not? Now, before we went to break, Alexa Bliss delivers Sister Abigail to Nikki Cross. Kisses her right on the forehead. Sister Abigail, just like Bray. And she got all of it, too. It was a pretty badass Sister Abigail. And if you guys look closely, Alexa actually had pink dreads as well. So channeling her inner Bray Wyatt. I like this, man. I like to see where this is going. I really do, man. That's one storyline I'm definitely into, man. I think it would work wonders for Alexa and Bray, man. With the Fiend. I have so many like creative thoughts in my dome piece, man. I don't know if WWE is going to utilize it correctly, but I'm glad that they're at least even flirting with this idea. You know, it's got potential. When we came back from break, though, Alexa was gone. It was like she was in a trance when she delivered Sister Abigail. We came back, she was gone. Walked right out of her match. Maybe this was just to pump up people's, people's anticipation for the Fun House later, where Bray was introducing a new character. And people were like, maybe they want people to think it's Alexa. I don't know, but she just walked out of the title match. That was kind of odd. Took me a minute. I'm like, what the fuck is Alexa? I'm seeing Tamina in there nonstop. She's winded. She's gassed. I can't even blame her. She doesn't even wrestle that much. So this poor girl's trying to fucking... it was rough. Nikki Cross delivers the awe-inspiring, ultra-devastating fruit roll-up to Tamina for the W. The damn roll-up strikes again. Damn roll-up. We saw it on Cesaro. We see it on Tamina. We see it 3 or 4 times every show. I mean this, guys. Can this fucking company not come up with any other way to end the match rather than a fruit roll-up? Is the roll-up the only finish that this company knows how to do? Whatever happened to finishers, man? Nowadays, we're in a time in pro wrestling where people kick out of 2 or 3 of your finishers, but they can't escape a roll-up. Getting choked up just talking about it. Unfucking real to me, man. Otis pins Morrison in 3.5 minutes next. I gave 0 fucks. And then we had a bunch of things with Otis having 100 lunchboxes. It's definitely funny, I'm not going to lie to you. But it's... I don't know, man. When the show is this bad, I can't even laugh at that. Otis and his lunchboxes, man. He's like a giant Winnie the Pooh. He's even got his shirt is like... You ever see Winnie the Pooh? You ever see Pooh's red shirt? It doesn't cover his belly because he's chubby, so it just covers half of his... Otis is the same way, right? And just like Pooh, he's got 100 lunch boxes and always eating. Oh, my honey. Excuse me, Eeyore, have you seen my honey? I don't know, man. That brought me back to the day. Saturday morning cartoons and then right into Superstars of Wrestling for WWE. That was my Saturday mornings. Winnie the Pooh in WWE. I don't know. Otis just reminds me of fucking Pooh. Firefly Fun House was next. Please, just give me this 2 hours next week. Just give me 2 hours of the Fun House. Because this was the only thing that truly entertained me last night. Straight up. So funny. Bray is a king. Bray Wyatt is a king. Bray Wyatt is wildly entertaining. He's a freaking genius. It's just... He's a man of brilliance, man. I can't speak more highly of Bray Wyatt. It's just unreal, dude. He debuts Pasquale the Parrot, or Pasquale the Parrot. But Pasquale never had holes in his little box that he was in. So Pasquale was pretty much DOA. So Bray Wyatt sadistically is just like, oh well, he throws the box. Mercy the Buzzard is like, yummy, like he's gonna eat fucking Pasquale. I don't even know. For the first time, aside from Bayley's promo, which again I couldn't really hear, but her words were impactful, I was actually entertained last night. And it took Bray Wyatt's Firefly Fun House just a couple minutes in segment time length. Something so outside the box. If only Pasquale was outside the box, he'd still be with us today. But so outside the box. But it was so damn entertaining. And he introduces Wobbly Walrus. Now, we knew this was coming because it was trademarked last week by WWE, Wobbly Walrus. And everybody was kind of thinking, does this have something to do with Paul Heyman? And sure enough, it's like a knockoff of Paul Heyman. So Devil Vince McMahon enters the Funhouse, the puppet. And then you have Wobbly Walrus, who's a Paul Heyman puppet. And they were kind of like yelling at one another. Bray's in the middle like, yowie, wowie. Like, this is even trippy for him. And Devil Vince puppet is looking at Bray and Wobbly and going, what? It's good shit. I loved the guy. I really did, man. And again... There was so much just horrible shit on this show that this was a good moment for me just to just laugh for a minute, just be entertained. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And then there was the main event, Roman and Jey Uso versus Corbin and Sheamus. Roman shows up at the last minute to deliver a spear in a subsequent pin on Sheamus, and then helps Jey Uso up. Tweener shit. I'm like, he helps him up. Okay, now nail him, dude. Do something now. You only have a couple weeks to clash. You want to tell the story that you turned on your fam and you're full throttle heel. Don't leave any room at all for doubt that you may be a tweener. This was absolute straight tweener shit. Helps Jey Uso up. A little bit of dissension where Jey raises the hand of Roman while he's got the championship. But nothing. Roman and then he just grins at Jey like, oh, all right, family, all right, Oos. That was it. We go off the air with Roman and Jey Uso side by side. Now, this is one of those situations where you don't say, BC, let it unfold, or they're leading to it, BC. No, then that's a wrong story. The story needs to be Roman straight out of the gates is a bona fide full throttle heel. You set up Jey Uso as the number one contender last week. This week, Roman turns on him straight out, so nobody has any doubt that he is a heel. You sell the story over the next several shows. We go to Clash where we see the culminating match. It's sitting in your lap, man. I don't need to have to blow my mic out to tell you that this is just horrendous. You're leaving room for doubt. Or is this the plan all along? Is the dude just supposed to be a tweener? Even with Paul Heyman. I was so disappointed in that, guys. So disappointed in what I saw last night. This was Roman's time to shine. Where he should have been for over a year now, at least, in that heel role. And he just lifts Jey Uso up. And what it does, guys, is now, if and when he does turn on Jey Uso in the future, now it doesn't look like he originally had that in mind. It doesn't look that way now. At least not to the casual. You need to have this guy come back with this new attitude. Whatever. I'm still going to be waiting for it to happen, so anyone like Beastly, just let it unfold, man. Don't worry, I don't have a fucking choice in the matter. I just hope it happens, man. I really do. I hope they don't fuck this up. I hope we don't literally just see a Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, cousin versus cousin match, and at the end of Clash, Roman just kind of walks away, doesn't handshake Jey's hand. You know what I mean? So there's no definitive turn. It's just a little heelish Roman, right? He's a tweener. He walked away from Jey's handshake. If it ends that way, dude, at Clash, I'm going to a remote island for fucking months. You talk about a reset button at that point. Anyway, that's it, guys. That's it. Hopefully I kept this less than a fucking half an hour for you guys. Do what you got to do this weekend. Keep kicking that ass. Stay amplified. And that's it. I'm taking Sexy Lexi straight to the Jersey Shore, baby. And we rocking out. We resetting all right. I'm doing what WWE can't do for me. Entertaining myself. I'm enjoying myself. I hope you guys do the same. For now, baby. Red team, and we going. Check you later.